Well, this is probably the last PowerPoint. Well, it will be the last PowerPoint. Yep. Okay. I know you'll be all PowerPointed out. So I just want to talk about HeartKids New Zealand. We were set up 31 years ago by two mums, and they are still around and they still assist us day by day too. So I just want to talk about firstly what we provide. First off, we provide support services to the paediatric cardiology ward at Starship. We have a family support worker who goes there, and we also have Nana Mari. Those people who know Nana Mari very well, she's just up the back there. And we also have, as of last year, a family support worker going to Auckland Hospital, so looking after the teens, the ones from 15 years old upwards. So they would go to Auckland Hospital on Ward 31 and 42. We provide family support services throughout the regions. We had today over 30 of our family support workers here. Half of them are already starting to head back to their particular towns, but there were 30 here today, enjoying the talks and so forth. We provide prenatal support for our families. We provide travel and care packages for our families. It can cost a considerable amount of money to bring people up to Auckland, and sometimes those families need assistance. Generally, the DHBs will provide funding for mums and children, and depending on the DHBs, they might provide assistance for dads as well, but there's other siblings, and sometimes the dad doesn't get the opportunity, so we provide money and care packages for that. We do camps. We have Camp Bravehearts for the 8 to 12-year-olds and Team Beat for the 13 to 16-year-olds. And at the moment we're combining those camps, so for the first time we'll be having them combined, and that'll be in January. And we have roughly about 100 to 120 kids going to these camps each year. To give you an idea of the cost, it's about $1,000 per child, so we have to raise the funds for that. We get no government funding. We provide free medical alert bracelets for our kids if they need it. Generally, if you've got a 5-year-old, they won't know what their condition is, and if they're at school and something happens, well, there's the medical alert bracelet for them to have a look at. We provide CPR training throughout New Zealand. We also provide bereavement support, because obviously some of our kids don't make it, and the families need support and on an ongoing basis, so we do that support as well. We provide, and this is very poignant to this group, we provide free anticoagulant machines. We have done for many years, and they cost $1,000 per piece. And we get funding for that. We scrape and save and get funding for that for our families. And to give you an idea, in this last year we've given out over 25, and I know we've just ordered another 4 this week. So we give out over 25 of those a year to our families. We do biannual heart conferences, very similar to this, but more involved. Obviously this is specifically for Fontans, but we are more general in our conferences, and they would run over 2 days. So next year in September, we'll be calling on quite a lot of the speakers, hey Tim, and getting them to come along and do a talk, and that's always very good for the whole of our HeartKids community. We do team scholarships. Probably what you find, and you've been hearing it today, and if you're, you know that some of these kids struggle, and it's very hard for them to get scholarships. So we provide scholarships. We've just handed out 3 actually this month, and actually 2 of the kids that got these scholarships are actually going to medical school in Otago. So one is a heart transplant boy, and another one, I think it was Trilogy of Fellowit, I think. But they have got funding to provide for scholarships. But not only do we do scholarships for education, but they can also apply for sporting scholarships and things like that. So we have a broad range. They get about $1,500 each. We fund medical research. It's very small, and in fact we provide a bit of small funding for the Fontan registry, so we help out in that way as well. Very small, but it's certainly an area that we want to grow. We do, in our local communities, and this is everywhere, we do local coffee groups for our families. We know it's important that they sit down and have a discussion on a monthly basis, and we provide that help and support. Also, locally, we do family events, generally probably once every quarter, and it could be arranged from going to a swimming pool or just getting the families together and meeting up. I'll go back because there's a couple of other areas that I didn't put in the slide, and another area that we also work proactively with our medical team at Starship is we lobby the government. In fact, we meet the government, every Ministry of Health, every 6 months and talk about what we perceive the areas and needs are for our local medical team, because it is nationally funded. And the other thing that we do is we family match. So if we have one Fontan family and they want to have assistance, we'll provide assistance with another Fontan family. We do that all the time if they want to have that assistance. I started in my role about 2 years ago, and the first thing I wanted to know about was our services and what we provide. So the first thing that we did was we looked at our services, we assessed what we do, and to be perfectly honest, we are inconsistent with what we provide. What we provide in Kaitaia is not the same as what we provide in Wellington or Auckland and Hawke's Bay and New Plymouth, so forth. They're not the same. So we worked out where we were. As I said, we found the gaps and we found the inconsistencies of service. So purely by where you are dictates the service that you get when you're with us, and that's not fair. So we said we needed to look at the future. We needed to have a plan in place to make it consistent, that we provide the same service no matter where you are. So we have our very ambitious plan, and we've started our first year. I have to say we've probably ticked off about 60% of that plan and been successful in raising funding for it, because again, it needs funding to do this. So I would say as CEO that we will not achieve our goals by 2017, but that's fine because we will more than likely achieve them within the next 5 years. So that's our aim in HeartKids. Now I just want you to read this. This is from a HeartKid. It reminds us what we're here for, and it's for the parents. So that child wrote that about 3 weeks after he had his open heart surgery. All right, that's what we're here for. We're here for the heart children, and we're here for us, it's also for the parents. So thank you very much.